Alright, so this video comes after the last video, obviously, of the films that I've only seen once. Well, these are the films in my collection that I've seen the most. Now, I don't know what I watched as a kid. I didn't watch much, but I do have some vague memories of stuff. So, the films that I've watched the most, we'll start off with the ones that you'd expect from me. You know, the ones that becomes no surprise if you've watched me for any time. Mortal Kombat, I watched this last week or week before, and I still love it. Yeah, it's got its CGI problems and acting problems, but it's damn entertaining, and it never fails to do that. As does this one, Commando. I watched that one a couple weeks ago. Fantastic, absolutely awesome. This one, Dead or Alive, You're Coming With Me. RoboCop. The sequels, no, I don't like the sequels. Then from this set, there comes Aliens, which I watched a couple of weeks ago. And you know what? I watched a special edition for a 2.5-ish hour film. There's probably around 20 minutes of action in it. Now, it's an action film. Everyone calls it an action film, and we all agree it is an action film. But there's not much action in it. I never noticed that before. Then The Terminator, which I went through a phase a few years ago where I couldn't find what to watch at night. I throw on Terminator. I was watching it every other week to the point where I got a little bit tired of it. So I gave it a rest for a while, and now I love it again. And of course, with that comes this, which I don't watch as much as all the other stuff here. But when I do watch it, it's fantastic. And I have seen it many times over the years, of course. And my favourite film of all time, which I haven't seen for a couple of years, but this one I remember used to be on every Christmas and you'd watch it. My favourite film of all time still is Mary Poppins, even though if I tried to make that list again, top 100, I'm not sure it would be, but... And for an action guy like me to have Mary Poppins as my favourite kind of always surprised people. And talking of surprising, here's a handful of films that I'm surprised that I've seen as much as I have. Thanks to Letterboxd for the information on this. But yeah, I've watched that one quite a few times. Do I remember watching them all the times I have? No. Favourite scene when Thor enters Wakanda and kicks the shit out of everyone. Fantastic. But I don't remember watching it as much. Grumpy Old Men, which when I first bought this, any spare maybe 2 hours I'd try and watch Grumpy Old Men. I always say watch that in the winter, watch that in the summer. 10 Commandments is a film that once I watched 2 nights in a row. A 3-hour film with all biblical and all that nonsense. I watched 2 nights in a row. And you know what? I loved every damn second of it. Ghostbusters, which I didn't really like until a good few years back. But now I love it. I love number 2 as well. But that's an easy watch. Funny, dramatic, opens with a bang. And then that one, again, surprises me. Because I would have said I've seen that, 2 or 3 times. But apparently I've seen it a lot more. So, there we go. And this one, well, the biggest surprise of them all. I don't think I'd seen that many times. But I just watched that. Did I watch that? No, I watched all 3 Matrix films, I think, early in the year. I enjoyed all of them, but I especially enjoyed that one. But to have seen it as much as my records tell me, surprise. And then out of all of my silent films and my massive cinema stuff, for a good while, these were my go-to films. Watch them over again to the point where I've even watched the commentary, listened to the commentary on Nosferatu, 1922 classic, to the point where I haven't seen that for a few years now, maybe even a year, because I've seen it so often. Then this, kind of a remake, filmed in German and filmed in English, so pick whichever one you want. A stylish remake of Nosferatu, improves in some aspects, not as impressive in some, but phenomenal. The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, a somnambulist, creepy guy. Excellent film, with I believe a twist ending, which I don't think they did too often in the 20s. And then Faust. I enjoy the entire film. The entire film is wonderful. But the first 40 odd minutes, it's up where he goes to the crossroads and does a deal. Up until there is mesmerizing, but the rest of it is damn good as well. What's his name? I don't know what his name is, but it's the same guy that plays old Faust as plays young Faust, which surprised the hell out of me. I don't remember his name. But the film I've seen the most over the years is a classic. I watched it a couple of weeks ago again, gave it a 10 out of 10. I love it. I've always loved it. It used to be my favourite film of all time. Then it dropped. Then it dropped down, which I don't know. I do know why, because I just enjoyed others at the time. But there you go. Bob, take a look at that. Bob of the North, The Wizard of Oz, is my most watched film. I imagine I read something once that it's the most watched film in history. I don't know if I'm remembering that or making it up because I want it to be true. But The Wizard of Oz, timeless tale, fantastic. Nothing, I love everything to do with Oz, but nothing Oz has come close to that. That is my most watched film of all time, and I guess it probably always will be.